Time feels like the most obvious thing in the world. You wake up, you are late, your coffee gets cold, your phone says it is Tuesday, and somehow Tuesday has chosen violence. So when someone says maybe time is not real, it sounds like the kind of sentence people say right before they try to sell you a crystal. But here is the annoying part. Physics has been quietly making time look suspicious for more than a century. Not fake like a magic trick. Fake like your brain may be turning something much stranger into a neat little movie. And you are in the theater thinking the movie is the universe. Start with the everyday version. You do not experience the world as raw reality. Your brain edits it. It stitches tiny delays into one smooth now. Light reaches your eyes. Sound reaches your ears. Nerves send signals. Your brain blends everything together, then presents it like it happened instantly. Very professional, slightly dishonest. This is why a clap and a flash can feel synchronized even when your brain had to do bookkeeping. Your present moment is not a perfect live broadcast. It is more like a very fast replay with confidence. Rude, because the brain forgot the watermark. Now take that small delay and zoom out. The present is not the same everywhere. In Einstein's relativity, time depends on motion and gravity. Move very fast, and your time can pass differently from someone else's. Stand near stronger gravity, and time ticks differently again. GPS satellites have to account for time behaving differently in orbit, or your maps would slowly become nonsense. So the universe already has a problem with the simple human idea of one giant universal clock. There is no cosmic manager with a clipboard saying, "Everyone, please enjoy the same now." The universe is less organized than that. Relatable, honestly. This is where things get really weird. In relativity, different observers can disagree about which distant events are happening now. Not because one of them is wrong, because now is not a single slice that the whole universe shares. Imagine slicing a loaf of space-time bread. One observer slices it one way. Another observer, moving differently, slices it at a slightly different angle. Both slices are allowed. The bread does not panic. We do, because we wanted the universe to behave like a calendar app. This leads to the block universe idea. Past, present, and future may all be part of one four-dimensional structure. Not a little river flowing. More like a whole map. You do not see the entire map at once. You experience one path through it. To you, the present feels special. But maybe the present is special the way the page you are reading is special. It is special to you right now. The book still contains the other pages. If the future is already part of the map, then tomorrow is not being created from nothing. It is sitting there, waiting for your consciousness to arrive late with snacks. Of course, this does not mean your future is a finished YouTube video with ads already placed. The block universe is an interpretation of what relativity seems to suggest. It does not automatically prove destiny, fate, or that your bad haircut in 2014 was cosmically required. Sorry, but it does challenge the feeling that only the present is real. That feeling might be a feature of consciousness, not a feature of the universe. Your brain may be moving through space-time and calling each frame now as it reaches it, like a flashlight beam sweeping across a painting. The light moves. The painting was already there. But if time is a map, why does it feel like a river? Because things change in one direction. Eggs break. They do not unbreak. Coffee cools. It does not return to hot because you looked sad. Your room gets messy by itself but somehow never cleans itself by quantum accident. Very suspicious. This direction is called the arrow of time, and it is closely tied to entropy. Entropy is often described as disorder, but a better way to think of it is, there are many more ways for things to be mixed up than neatly arranged. A smashed cup has many messy arrangements. An intact cup is a very specific arrangement. The universe seems to move from special low entropy states toward more likely high entropy ones. That gives change a direction. Here is the uncomfortable twist. Most basic laws of physics do not care much about past versus future. If you film two billiard balls colliding, the reversed video can still look physically possible. But if you film a glass shattering, the reversed video looks like magic. Not because particles forgot the rules, because the starting condition would have to be absurdly precise. The universe is not just following laws. It also began in a strangely ordered state. That is one of the deepest mysteries hiding behind your cold coffee. Every sad cup of coffee is, in a tiny way, an early universe clue, or a dramatic excuse to make another cup. Now let us bring this back to your head. Your sense of time is not a clock. It is a construction. When you are bored, 10 minutes can become an entire geological era. When you are having fun, 3 hours sneak past. Fear can slow moments down. Routine can make whole weeks disappear. This is not because time outside you changes dramatically every time you wait in line. It is because your brain measures time using attention, memory, emotion, and prediction. Your brain is not a clock. It is a storyteller with a stopwatch it found somewhere. Memory makes it even stranger. You feel like the past is real because you remember it. But memory is not a museum. It is rebuilt every time you visit. Your brain keeps useful pieces, edits details, and sometimes installs fake furniture. The past you carry is partly record and partly reconstruction. That does not mean nothing happened. It means your access to the past is filtered. If the past is filtered, the present edited, and the future predicted, your experience of time is basically a user interface. A very convincing one. Good design, questionable honesty. This is why Deja Vu feels so spooky. For 1 second, the interface glitches. A new moment is tagged as familiar. Your brain whispers, "We have been here before." And you think, am I psychic or just undercaffeinated? Most likely, Deja Vu is a memory system misfire. But emotionally, it feels like the timeline folded over itself and let you peek at the crease. That feeling is powerful. That is why people love time slip stories, premonitions, and the idea that time is secretly layered. Science says, careful. Your nervous system says, but what if? And honestly, that is how many good questions begin. There is also the quantum problem. In some equations used in quantum gravity, time does not appear in the normal way. That sounds impossible. How can anything happen without time? But some physicists suspect time may be emergent. Emergent means it is not fundamental on the deepest level. It appears when many pieces interact, like temperature appears from moving particles. One particle does not have everyday temperature. A crowd of particles does. Maybe time is like that, not a basic ingredient. A large-scale effect, like foam on top of something deeper, or like a loading bar for machinery too weird to look at directly. This is where the conspiracy-flavored version walks in. If time is emergent, edited, relative, and maybe map-like, then maybe reality is not what it seems. Maybe the flow of time is a rendered experience. Maybe the universe is only showing you the slice you need. Maybe the past and future are stored somewhere, and consciousness is just reading the file. Fun idea. Dangerous if we pretend it is proven. There is no evidence that time is a simulation loading screen, but it is a strangely useful metaphor, because it captures something real. The time you feel is not whatever time is underneath. So what is time then? The honest answer is, we do not fully know. It may be a dimension woven with space. It may be an emergent feature from deeper physics. It may be tied to entropy, information, and the universe's beginning. It may be something our brains simplify because the raw version would be unusable. That last part is not a failure. Brains are not built to understand space-time. Brains are built to keep warm mammals from walking into holes. Expecting your brain to intuit quantum gravity is like asking a toaster to review jazz. Admirable. Not its main job. The strangest possibility is not that time is fake. It is that time is real, but not real in the way it feels. The flow may be in us. The arrow may come from entropy. The present may be local. The future may be less absent than it seems. And memory may be a trailer for a movie you cannot replay. That is a lot to put on a clock. No wonder clocks look smug. So maybe time is not a river carrying you forward. Maybe it is a landscape, and your mind is walking through it with a flashlight. Maybe the now is not where reality exists. Maybe it is where your attention lands. And maybe that is why time feels so personal. The universe might have space-time, but you have moments, birthdays, regrets, first messages, last conversations. The 5 minutes before everything changes. Physics can make time look unreal. Life makes it painfully real anyway. So what if time is not real? Maybe that does not mean nothing matters. Maybe it means every moment is stranger than we thought. The past is not just gone. The future is not just empty. The present is not just a point on a clock. It is the tiny window your mind opens onto something much larger. And the next time you lose track of time, or feel a moment stretch, or get that strange sense that you have been here before, you can choose the boring answer. Your brain glitched. Or you can enjoy the better question. For 1 second, did the movie of time show you the projector? If time is not what it feels like, which moment would you want to visit again?